And thank you to everybody who is watching the replay. Let me get myself all situated back in our original setup. The original setup. Let me know. Apologize for the echo. Not muted. There we go. Okay. Can you hear me? That's the most important question. When we did these back in March, in this location, I didn't have the air conditioner on, and I've got the air conditioner on full blast in this room. And so I am actually I'm almost shouting almost because I know that the phone sound quality is not near as good as a camera. So I want to make sure that you can hear me. So let me know in the comments, can you hear me? Loud and clear. Great, great, awesome. Let's start with, what are you drinking? I'm having wine. If you saw my Instagram story last night, I am very thankful that Laken put a bottle of white in the fridge. So when we got home last night, there was a nice bottle of white, chilled and ready for me. And I'm excited to, I had some last night, and I'm excited to continue to enjoy it today. Beer, iced tea. In true Hannah fashion, I'm drinking coffee at 5 p.m. Hannah, I'm impressed. I would love to be able to drink coffee at 5 p.m., but there's no way I would go to sleep at a normal time. All right, the other question I have for you in this space at this new time. So back in March, April, May, when we were here in New York, when I was here in New York, we only did lunchtime, and the lighting was fantastic in this window. At 6 p.m., the lighting's not so fantastic, given the direction that my window faces. So lighting is okay. Should I pull out the lights? How are you feeling on the lighting situation on this video? It's my other question. Oh, do not feel bad. I have also been slacking on my ginormous water bottle. I am very dehydrated, and I need to get back on that tomorrow. Hi, Kaden. Have fun at gymnastics. Lighting is good. Lighting is pretty good. I can see it, obviously, and I can see that it's not the best. So I can pull out the lights. It's not that big of a deal. I can do it in a different spot, but we can figure out. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Drinking water and cooking. I love when you guys tell me that you multitask. I love when you're either cooking or you're on a treadmill or you're out walking or whatever it is that you're doing at the same time, because there's only so much time in the day, and time is your. Let's try this again, and not again. We're all in the same one. Hopefully it's fixed itself. Hopefully we're back. Hopefully we're all back. Let me know if you're back. Refresh if you have to. I got off the Wi-Fi and put myself on 5G, LTE, whatever that is. One of those things. Okay, everybody's back. All right. Apologies for that. I got on the Wi-Fi, but sometimes the Wi-Fi in this room is not fantastic because it's all the way over there, especially if Sam's on his computer and I'm clearly on my computer trying to read comments. Sometimes my phone is like, just get on the LTE, which is fine. So we're all good. Okay, cheers to everybody. Super excited that we're all back and fixed. Thank you to all of you who are hanging out. Let's start. What questions do you have this week? If you didn't see my Instagram post, the disaster behind me, I don't need to apologize for the mess. Minus that it's not very aesthetically pleasing for you to look at while I'm chatting, but I got mostly unpacked today, and that's the one section. That and the laundry didn't happen either. Those are the two things that didn't get done today, which is super unfortunate. How does it feel to be home after so long away, Kate? It's bittersweet. So I am very happy. If you can't see Charlie, she's right next to me. I've cried multiple times today. I'm just very happy to be home with her. The apartment feels really, really small. I'm not gonna lie, it feels really small. But it feels good to be back. Katie, I did move the desk. I'm going to talk about it in the weekly vlog, but if you have been around, this is actually the original setup. So originally when I moved into this apartment, that is where the desk was located, and I had different things going on in the living room. And then about 2 years ago, I had this bug that I needed to rearrange my apartment to have it feel a little bit different. And so one of those things was moving the desk from in here in the bedroom out into the living room. I got those new shelves, those glass shelves. That was new to make it just feel different. They're from IKEA. And so one of the things, make sure I'm not losing my spot in the comments. One of the things that is tough about living in this apartment and both of us working from home is the working situation. And so we do have a nice door. It's not totally soundproof, but we really do need to each be in each of the separate rooms while we're working. And so that I was at my desk with my monitor and Sam was sitting on the bed here in the bedroom. And I mean, most of the day he's on client calls. He's not like working on his computer, so it's not that big of a deal as it is. Like for me, I need to be at a desk or a table. However, it's not comfortable for him to sit in the bed all day, and it's not like, it doesn't feel productive when you're sitting in your own bed working all day. And so we were trying to find a new solution so that he was also able to have a working space. And the only other table in our apartment is the coffee table. And our coffee table actually does this cool thing where it like lifts up and becomes a normal level table instead of a coffee table level. And so I was like, well, what if we switch things back and put the shelves back into the living room, move the desk in here, then I can work in here and you can work at the coffee table, pull it up like a desk, and now you have an actual desk. So that is what we did. That was part of unpacking today, was also rearranging the apartment. I obviously have to get my desk cleaned off before I have to work tomorrow, but he now has the coffee table for his working space. All right. How was the trip back? The trip back was fine. Really, it was very easy. Nothing felt weird. The adjustment back to Eastern, I haven't worked yet. So tomorrow I'll let you know how the adjustment back to Eastern time is. Right now it's fine. Okay. Sarah, if you're allowed to say, are you going to be doing more lessons for Wild You? So I can say yes, but I can't tell you what or when. But yes, I am going to be doing. There are a lot of other people, incredibly talented people working on content for Wild You besides me. Now that you're home, are your goals, plans still the same? Yep. When I set my goals for September, and even my Q4 goals, I've already done those, I was very thoughtful about where my location was going to be and how that was going to impact my goals. Obviously, there are times that your goals, like your location is going to change without you knowing it in advance, and you can't plan them. I mean, obviously like 2020, like reset yearly goals and then our locations were at home. But for the most part, I set my goals with the intention of where I was going to be based on our current plan. So, Lisa, the drive was good. Charlie's good. If you did not see the Instagram as well, go check out my Instagram stories. Charlie had to have surgery last week, but she is fine. She is healing just fine, but she does have the cone of shame on. If you have never seen Up, you should watch it. It's an adorable movie. Grab the tissues and learn about the cone of shame. Oh, crafting Ruby dreams. Have you started thinking about what planners you'll be using for 2021 since a lot are launching in the next 2 weeks? I've been thinking about it. Do I have a decision made? Not even close. I need to see what the final Moxie Life planners look like. I need to see, I know that Bailey Shea Designs is doing some cool things with her planners. There's a third one that I was looking into. Now I'm blanking on what it was. It's gonna drive me nuts. But that's for the weekly. There's also the possibility that I don't even use a weekly next year. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but it just, sometimes it feels really repetitive, and I love my daily. That one's not going away. I need to order another one. I just haven't ordered it yet because I haven't decided what extra pages I want in, if any. So I haven't ordered my Plum Paper daily that starts in January. The one I have right now goes through December. So I have plenty of time to make that decision and order that planner. And that one for sure isn't going anywhere. I love that planner. Okay. What do I think of the Bloom planners? Tiffany, I haven't really looked at them in depth in person. Like, I've only ever been able to look at the pictures. I got one as in swag at Go Wild one year, and I remember being really bummed about the paper quality. Like, it felt very not great. That was years ago though, so they could have very well upped their paper quality since then. But all I've seen is pictures. I haven't watched any of the review videos yet. Are there any? I don't know if there's any review videos yet. I could be totally wrong. I'm very behind on my YouTube watching as well. So I don't really have an opinion, but I know there are tons and tons of planner people on the internet who are reviewing those planners. So go follow them. Plan with Laura is the first one that popped into my head that I know is working with them. I don't know for sure. Courtney, are you going back into work at all? Nope, not yet. My office has said that we're at least not opening until October 1st, and if we do open, it will be volunteer only for the remainder of 2020, and they won't ask anybody to come into the office until at least 2021. So I do not volunteer as tribute to go into the office. I think I've mentioned this before, but my biggest struggle is actually not the office. I feel like we could do all the right things and I would feel very safe in my office. I don't feel safe getting to my office. I'm not ready to get on the subway yet. I'm not ready for that, and I'm not paying to take an Uber to work, and it's not walkable. So, well, it is, but it would take a very long time. Aaliyah, how are you feeling about the COVID situation in New York versus Texas? Well, in Texas, to be honest with you, we didn't go anywhere. Like, we didn't go out to restaurants. We didn't go grocery shopping. We didn't do anything. Except like go to the beach, and that was like the only outside of the house thing that we did in Texas. So I didn't really care. I didn't really look at them because we weren't going anywhere. In New York, I'm actually pleasantly surprised at what New York has done. There are a ton of more outside seating at restaurants. They're taking bus lanes, which the buses probably hate. They're taking parking spots on side streets. Like, there are a ton of outdoor seating that was not here before, and it looks like New York. Like, people, I kept seeing all these articles that were like, New York's not the same, and it's not New York, and doesn't feel like New York. And like, maybe since I can't go into a bar and I can't go to a Broadway show, at some point I will feel like it's not New York. But I will say, when we pulled into the city last night, like, it looked like New York. There were plenty of people out and about. There was still a massive line at my Whole Foods to get in. I mean, obviously they were all 6 feet apart, so it made it longer than it was, but like, it felt like New York. And so, I don't know. And the numbers here are good. We still don't have indoor restaurants or bars. We don't have indoor dining, is what I meant to say. We don't have fitness classes. Our gyms have opened, but just gyms. I have not decided if I'm ready for that yet. But no fitness classes at those gyms. So for me, since that's what I like is a class, like, there doesn't seem like there's a point for me to go to the gym if I'm not getting to take a class. Like, that exposure seems unnecessary. So yeah, I'm feeling okay about New York, to be honest. I know, I'm so happy that we're all reunited as well. It's been so, yeah, she hasn't left my side really since I've been home. She's been following me around the apartment. Looking back, would you still go to Texas? Tina, 1000%. I miss Charlie something fierce. I've never said that phrase before, but I like that phrase. I miss her so much, but I am so thankful that we went. I think it was good for our mental health. I think it was good to see some family that was down in Texas, because neither of us are ready to get on a plane yet. And even though the drive was very long that time, it felt worth it because we were going for 3 months. And so now, at least, like, I don't know when we're going to see our Texas family again. So I'm glad that we were able to see all 3 sets of parents that live in Texas. I don't know when we're going to be back. So I would do it again in a heartbeat. And all the wedding stuff that we got to do while we were down there, I'm also very thankful for that. Nicola, Charlie's doing great. Thank you for asking. And she's healing just fine. Kate, you mentioned that you want to move. Do you have the timeline? Do you hope to stay in the same area? So I think you mean moving in New York, because you said stay in the same area. I mentioned in one of the Lattes with Laken that we are thinking, given rent prices have dropped significantly here, that we're likely going to move. It would be in March, because that's when our lease is up. Our lease is up March 31st. So if we move, it's going to be sometime in March. The ideal area it's a pretty big bubble. I would love to live within walking distance of the office so that I don't have to take the subway to get to work. That would be the ideal bubble. Also, pretty much anywhere within walking distance of my office is also going to put us within walking distance of a Trader Joe's. And those 2 things would change our lives. So that is kind of what we're looking at. And then also, if we can make it happen, we're not willing to go up in rent, but given rent prices are crazy, if we can stay the same for that neighborhood, excuse me, or get a 2-bedroom so that we can have an office with a door for whichever one of us needs it more at that time. I mean, it'll probably be Sam's office like Monday through Friday, because by then I should hopefully be back into the office at least part-time, but then I could also use that room for filming if I wanted to, etc. So if we can swing it, we're looking at a 2-bedroom within walking distance of the office. Right now, there are options that are less expensive than what we currently pay for that. So hopefully those things are still available, or something like that in March is what we're hoping. I'm very behind on comments, and I know I'm not reading your responses because I'm really behind on questions. Did you find bridesmaids dresses in Chicago? So, yes and no. Yes, we found 2 great options for bridesmaid dresses while I was there, and I love them both very much. I have not picked between the 2 yet. And I'm not sure how to not make myself pick. I'm not sure how to decide. So the 2 the 2 shades, I think I mentioned before that we're going to do red. Their shades of red are slightly different. So at first it's like, do I have a preference for which shade of red I really like? And then the style of the dress. They're actually the exact same price, so that's not a problem or a decision factor. It's really between the colors of red and the style. Both places have locations here in New York, so I'm thinking that, by the way, there will be more of this in the vlog that goes up on Friday. I'm thinking maybe I will take my 2 New York bridesmaids and have them try on both of them here in New York, and then maybe that will help me seeing different people besides my mom and my sister in the dresses to help me pick, but we haven't picked yet. Okay, I'm reading the questions. All of you also don't want to commute, so that makes me feel better. Makes me feel so much better. If you never did the Cultivate What Matters prep, how would you narrow down your goals? Jessica, that's a really, really great question. I think I have done it enough that if I had to narrow it down, I could. The issue would become, I think I would probably pick some things that might seem more important to me in some regards and not in like what's really important to me, if that makes sense. Like the Cultivate What Matters prep questions really help me get to the heart of why things are important, and prioritizing them from a different place than just like what I think is important, if that makes sense. So that is where I think I would struggle. I think I would be able to, prioritize and pick goals and set goals without it. They may not be the right goals or the best goals for me in that moment. And I realize now you asked how I would do it. So I think what I would do is kind of similar to the video I posted like a week or 2 ago where I draw a little mind map. I probably would do that same thing just like for my whole life. Like I would just draw all the things I really ever want to accomplish on a mind map, kind of like you brain dump at the very beginning of the Cultivate What Matters stuff. So I'd probably just brain dump all of the things, and then I would go through and like rank stuff. So I would like circle like, within a year, maybe this is like a 5-year goal, or this is like, this shouldn't be on the list for now. Like those, I would kind of rank it in that regards, and then go from there. I hope that helps. It would be tough. It would be tough. Check out Pasta Louise in Brooklyn on Facebook. Tina, that sounds delicious, but how am I getting to Brooklyn right now? Did they deliver to Manhattan? It was good for my mental health for you to go to Texas too. I appreciate that. Aaliyah, there were a number of reasons that we did not take Charlie with us to Texas that I'm not going to go into here. Could you think about PowerSheets prep work, and if there's something you could do virtually to help us who are newer to prep work this year? Mindy, that is a fantastic question, and I am hoping, and I saw somewhere on Instagram, but I can't even remember where I saw it now, that Cultivate What Matters is planning to do the prep day virtually. So last December, they held a 1-day intensive to work on your PowerSheets from start to finish in person, and it was hands down probably one of the best events I've ever gone to in terms of like return on investment on my time. Like the time, the flight for me was like an hour and a half, and the spending 1 day getting all of my PowerSheets prep work done was fantastic. I don't know any of the details yet for this year in terms of date, cost, like is it going to be 1 day, 2 days? I don't know any of that yet, but I will share that with you as soon as I do. That would be my #1 recommendation. Depending on what they do for it, I will consider doing something potentially supplementary either before or after. My guess is after we might need something, because that's what I needed after this time. We did all the prep work, but the actual goal part, not the goal part, but like where you actually finalize the 8 goals, we did not do that during that day. So if they have it structured the same way, I could see us doing a follow-up session where we do that, goal setting piece of it and we can talk about it. But I don't know. I don't know what their structure is going to be. So to be determined, but I definitely would love to help you through your newer prep work. I also am thinking about doing either at least one video or a video series about your PowerSheets in like when they launch in October. So coming soon, but I love that you asked that. It's very weird right now for me to see myself in NYC too. Jenna, we needed to come home for Charlie. That's why we left Texas. Yeah. Yeah, she is a mama's cat. Well, she is a mama's, it was just the two of us for 2.5 years before we met Sam. So that's why she's a mama's girl, because it was just the two of us. Working right now is no joke. It's Rachel. I work in property management and my advice is act fast. Rachel, it's funny you say that because we literally just looked it up today. To break our lease we are on the hook for the rest of it if they can't find a new tenant. I'm not about to pay 6 months of our rent if they can't find a new tenant. So there's not really an option. If breaking our lease was like a 1 month rent, I think we would consider it, but it's not worth it. Yeah, unfortunately, we did look into that. Thank you, Planner Heart. My lashes are they're natural. I mean, there's mascara on them, but they're natural, which I'm very, very excited about. Yes, Holly. Holly made for those Elliott is Holly at Cultivate Your Life. She was the VIP who came and sat at my table when the VIP doors opened, and so we got like 30 minutes, just the two of us, and it was the best. It was the absolute best. Oh, Lauren, you bought a car. So we actually did toy with that idea for a quick second yesterday, thinking that we're not going to be traveling by plane for any of the near time future, and so should we buy a car so that we can travel by car and still be able to get out of the city when we need to, etc. And then when we do need to get back to Chicago and all these things, and then if I did need to drive to work. But for us, it's really more of the like, we don't need it except for those road trips. So like, is it really worth the cost or should we just keep renting? And then also like figuring out where to park it here in the city that's not insanely expensive, or like a street parking that you've got to drive around and find. So we ended up deciding not to, but we did consider it. I will tell you that. Katie, I can see Sam pacing behind me. Can y'all see that? That's what he does when he talks on the phone. Do you have any insider info on the Moxie Life new releases? Katie, I do not, with the exception of what Sierra has shared in a number of her lives in different places. She shared it. Both of her lives were actually with Darian from Darian Plans. One was on Darian's YouTube channel, and then one was on the Moxie Life YouTube channel. And both of those videos, they shared a couple sneak peeks of the new Moxie Life stuff. But I don't have any more information other than that from you. I apologize. Have you changed your workout schedule since working from home and doing virtual workouts? So, yes and yes. I mean, I have, but I haven't found one that works for me. So I hesitate to say yes because I don't have an answer of what works for me. And now that we're on East Coast time again, I think I'm going to switch it back up. I tried a lot of different things. I've tried the morning, I've tried lunchtime, I've tried the evening, and they all work for me in different ways and on different days. I do think now that we're back on East Coast time that the morning is going to be the best for me. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the morning is going to be the best for me. And then I think lunchtime is when I might try going on walks, is what I'm thinking now. But honestly, I haven't figured it out. I have not figured it out yet. I think it's just it's gonna take me a few weeks to figure that out. And then of course, by the time I figure it out, we're gonna be like leaving again. We're not leaving that soon, but I think it depends. I think it depends on your time zone and when you have to start working and how early you can get up. That is what I have found. For whatever reason, 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock feel very different. And so doing it at 4 o'clock when we were on Central, felt fine, but doing it at 5 o'clock here sounds awful for whatever reason. So I think I'm going to try to go back to the morning time. At least that's what we're going to start with tomorrow. I think I just said that out loud to tell myself, you're doing that tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. I'm saying that out loud also because we're going out to dinner because I still haven't ordered groceries yet. So our fridge literally has wine in it. That's all that's in there, and a couple condiments. And there is a new Mexican place that opened up in our neighborhood that, so this location had been boarded up forever, like ever since I moved into the neighborhood. It's been boarded up. It hasn't been anything. And right before COVID, like in the fall, they started to show signs of what was coming and that they were doing construction and they were working on it. And I was like, man, that restaurant's never going to open. Pull in yesterday, and there it is, open, hopping, like lots of tables and lots of people. And so we're going to go try it tonight, and I'm really excited. And I know I'm going to have a margarita, and so I'm going to work out. I'm going to get up and do it in the morning. I'm telling all of you now. Yeah, it's being weird. He's being whatever. Heather, how does being in NYC feel? Does anything look or feel different? Do you like being back in your own space? I do. The last one for sure. I like being back in my own space. I see all the things that I want to like declutter and get rid of and like clean and organize about this space. But I'm glad to be back in something that feels like ours and something that is like in my total control and not a space that belongs to my parents. So I'm very glad to be back in our apartment. New York City feels good. Like I didn't go out and about that much today because I spent the majority of the day unpacking and cleaning, but I don't know, it feels good. Like I said, when we were driving around last night, it felt good. So I know, we love Mexican food too. We are a little picky on our Mexican food, but this place doesn't claim to be Tex-Mex. It just claims to be Mexican, but they have queso on the menu. So we're going to find out if that queso is any good. And if, we'll see. We do have a Mexican place in our neighborhood too, a Tex-Mex place that we do really like. It's just really expensive. This place actually didn't seem that much less expensive, but it's much closer. So, Jen, yes, that is my desk behind me. I did rearrange so that Sam could use the coffee table as his desk. Instead of having both desk surfaces in our apartment be right next to each other, we rearranged. This is how it actually used to be set up. And then I rearranged it in a moment of like, I need a rearrangement, and now it's back. So it's the same desk and all the same things on the desk. Well, there's a lot more things on the desk right now than there was before. And then those glass shelves that you've seen as the background to a number of videos are out in the living room. Abigail, I am considering switching to Moxie Life. What is your favorite thing about it? That is a great question. I have two things that I personally love to use, and then one thing that I don't use, but I think is great for other people. So the first one is the paper quality. The paper is fantastic. It is bright white. It is thick. It's great. I love the paper. They probably have my favorite paper of all the paper. Number two is how neutral the vertical layout is, slash the fact that there are lines. So the layout in general, it's very neutral in colors, and there are lines. Sorry, I'm distracted by her moving. The layout is, for me, I love that there are lines in the vertical and not separate boxes, and I love how neutral it is, and I don't feel like I'm either trying to cover up all the color or have like mundane everything else, because there is color elsewhere in the planner that's not on the weekly layout. The thing I like it for other people is the goal setting aspect to it. If you aren't a PowerSheets user, or even if you are, I tried to make it work and then completely fell off the wagon, but if you, what is she's trying to climb up into the pillows right now. If you need a goal setting system that's a little bit more streamlined, it's not quite the, I'm trying to find the right word, how I would differentiate the PowerSheets goal setting process to the Moxie Life. The Moxie Life already has categories put in for you, which can be so helpful if you need that little bit, like a little bit more guidance. So I really like the goal setting structure if you're new to goal setting and you need that extra kind of guidance and structure in your planner. Yes, Courtney, the big negative to the Moxie Life is the coil. And what Sierra has said is she has looked into a normal coil. The problem is with the number of pages, because you have a section, there's basically two layouts every single week, because you have the weekly layout and then you have the weekly goals and overview page. So 12 months of 2 weekly layouts and the monthly and the goal setting prep work on that paper quality will not fit on a normal coil. She is looking into it for maybe in the future to do like a 6-month version on a normal coil, but as of right now for 21, you're not going to be able to get it on a normal coil. So I don't like the wire oak coils either, but for somebody who keeps their planner at home and it doesn't, like I don't open it and shut it all the time and I don't take it anywhere, it works for me. Because it's just not that big of a deal for me. But if you're somebody who takes your planner everywhere, that coil does suck. Check out Uncluttered Course by Joshua Becker. That sounds great, Mindy. I will definitely keep that in mind. Rachel asks, is it worth it to do the Moxie, the Daily, and the PowerSheets? So that's the debate I'm having in my head, Rachel. So if I use the Moxie, it's because it's the best vertical layout for me, not necessarily for all the other goal setting stuff. I would love to get better at using it, but like I'm not giving up my PowerSheets and I'm not giving up my Daily. Those are not going anywhere. Those are my babies, but I just love them. The Moxie Life would be because I want a vertical layout, but I am struggling with if I actually need a weekly layout. And I don't know the answer yet. Sarah, you mean for the PowerSheets? I don't know if they're going to do regular coils or not, but I'll tell you, I just got an email today asking about them. So I don't know, but I don't know about the coil. I don't have an answer on the coil. Mariah, you were on the fence about the Moxie, but because it's recycled materials that helped to make your decision. That's really cool. Yeah, she uses recycled paper and recycled the metal and she's very, Sierra, the owner of the Moxie Life company, is amazing as a human being. And so she does a lot for a lot of good things in the world, and including using recycled materials for her products, and it's amazing. Amazing. I love her. Yes, Katie. Yeah, so Moxie Life is going to they're going to release a version of just the goal setting piece without the planner attached. So I almost wish they would just do the planner also without the goal setting, but I get that's their thing. The goal setting piece is their thing. So if you already have a weekly planner that you love, or you don't need a weekly planner, and you're just a daily planner or something, and you just want the goal setting piece of the Moxie Life, highly recommend that. That could be awesome if you have ever been overwhelmed by the PowerSheets or you just want something different. Yeah, super awesome. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining us. Emily, I would also love for the PowerSheets to be on a normal coil. I've had a lot of, so let me take this back. I like hard covers. I know that some people don't like them. I think that they're great. And so I understand that they couldn't do the switch to the hard cover with the plastic coil. Like a hard cover and a plastic coil, I don't know if that would work. I mean, I'm sure it would, but I've never seen anybody do it. So it made sense that the coil switch had to happen with the plastic cover switch, from plastic to the hard cover. Because I also don't take my PowerSheets anywhere, I'm also okay with, I would prefer the hard cover to the YRO, because what I like about hard covers, especially the PowerSheets, is that it makes it easier for you to flip it over and write on it without a table surface. And so I can sit in bed and write in it without a table. And because I don't take them anywhere, I like it rather than having a different kind of coil. If the options are plastic versus YRO. Now, obviously, if the option was a normal spiral, obviously that is what I would pick. Okay, Crystal, yeah, you love hardcover too. I know I do. I love it. Yeah, Jen, it is a tough world that we live in with so many planner options for goal setting and planning, and heck, if you just need to use a sticky note and a notepad, you do that. That can totally work for you. You do not need all of these systems. That I will stand by that any day of the week. You don't even use a goal setting book. Yeah, it's tough. You'd rather have a regular coil. But Courtney, would you rather have a regular plastic coil than the hardcover? Not a regular coil, not like a metal coil. I would pick regular metal coil, hardcover plastic foil. But I don't know if this is an option. You might be picking between the hardcover and the plastic foil. Now that you have more access to clothes and things, are you going to get ready more while working from home? Casey, oh, you're making me feel guilty. No. I don't like getting ready. Like I don't know. Even when I was home, like I saw 2 friends while I was home in Chicago, safely and distantly. And both times I saw them, they were like in normal clothes with makeup on, and I was in sweatpants with no makeup. And I was like, dang it, like I just don't feel like getting ready anymore. Like this is the most that I do when I film. But like, no, not for work. I'm so bad. Not the plastic. Okay, Courtney. We're on the same page then. Mindy, I think it's a combination of both. I think the more that you get into the planner community, the more you learn about all of the options. Even me, I'm learning about options that existed years ago and I just didn't know about them because I just didn't know. But at the same time, I do also feel like there are a lot more companies popping up than there used to be. So I think it's a combination of both. I don't think it's just you. Katie, I think that's true too. I think more companies are being promoted and so there's more options, yeah. Sarah, oh, that's a great question. Did I find I didn't use planning stationery items that I took with me to Texas, or were there items that I wish I had or hadn't taken? So for the most part, sticker-wise, I was good. I did buy some stickers while I was down there, and so I probably took a little bit more than I needed, but I don't regret any of the stickers that I took. I don't, actually, planning-wise, there isn't too much. Planning-wise, I got a lot of extra stuff shipped to me while I was down there, and I kind of wish I didn't do that because trying to pack to come home was actually difficult, and I ended up with like 3 extra tote bags that I didn't have going down there. It was ridiculous. The actual big thing that I took down that I wish I hadn't was the number of books that I took with me. So not only did I take like a good number of books with me, I then asked my dad to bring all 7 Harry Potter books down, and I bought probably 7 books over the summer. So like I just had way more books than I could have ever read in a normal summer. Like it was ridiculous. I think I thought because I was down there and relaxing I was gonna read a lot more, but it was just I did actually read more, but not the number of books that I took with me. And those are heavy. Like books are a pain to get there and back, and some books got like bent in the packing process, and like I'm bummed about that. So that is the one thing that if/when we pack for another extended stay, that is the one thing I don't need to pack that many of, is books. Allie, you're slowly getting away from disc. You're torn between Moxie and Plum Paper. So I think if you need the goal setting piece, I would go with Moxie Life. If you don't need the goal setting piece, I would see if there's a Plum Paper planner layout that works the best for you, because their customization is amazing, and I think that that's a really great option. I think you also have to consider if you're okay with the super smooth paper. The Plum Paper is so beautiful and smooth, but some people hate it, and you do have to give pens a second to dry. So if that's gonna bug you, go Moxie Life. That's my advice in 20 seconds. Yeah, no, I am all about comfy clothes. Abigail, the PowerSheets definitely would fulfill the goal part of a planner. That's exactly, the PowerSheets are just a goal planner, and you can definitely use any sort of other layout that works for you in addition to them. Yeah, for sure. Ariana, I have not decided what to declutter yet. Clearly, I haven't worked on it yet. By the way, there's a lot of stuff in that pile that I'm getting rid of, that I'm going to be giving away. And I'm likely going to give it away in the Patreon Facebook group first. I'm going to go there first and see if anybody wants anything that I'm not planning to keep. And then if there are no takers, I will take it to Instagram, because there's a lot of stuff in that stack that is beautiful, brand new stuff that I just won't use. And I want it to get used while it has a date on it. So it's coming. If work gave you the option, would you summer in Texas again or somewhere else? Honestly, Jen, I think we would go somewhere else. I think we would go explore something different. So we'll see. who knows what next summer will look like. Man, oh man. Danielle, have you finished The Lazy Genius Way? I have not. I'm on principle 5 or 6. So I still have about half of it to work through, and then I will figure out what I'm implementing and what I'm not. I'll definitely share my thoughts when I'm done with it, but I need to reread it too. I know that there's stuff that I'm not absorbing well. That's one of the things I feel like I should work on. Like a goal should be to have a better system at documenting what I read. I know, have you heard of this thing called a commonplace book? I think that's what it's called. I've heard about it from Ryan Holiday, who wrote The Daily Stoic, and then Amy Landino, who I've talked about before, where you can like document and store all the information that you gather from all the different sources, Instagram, books, etc. And I need to work on that because I feel like I read all these great books and then I don't implement it or like keep that information close by, if that makes sense. Oop, I lost my spot. People loving their plum paper. Oh my gosh, it's already 5:42. I'm gonna get through the rest of these questions. Amy, will you be traveling to Texas Chicago for the holiday season? Yeah, I think we're gonna go to Chicago. I think we're gonna stay here. I think we're gonna vote because you should vote. And the absentee ballot rules for New York are ridiculous. And so I know that he released COVID as an excuse, but I don't see it on the absentee ballot form. So I think it's fine. The timing I think is fine. We're gonna stay. We're gonna vote. We're going to go back to Chicago for November and December, I think is our current plan. Yeah, Mindy, the Golden Coil is tough. It is a beautiful planner, beautiful paper, beautiful customization. It's pricey. It's definitely pricey. Aaliyah, the paper is the only warning I have for Plum Paper. Absolutely. I don't personally love the cover style. It's like a thick cardstock with this like plastic layer on top, and like my plastic now for my daily has gotten really dirty and like really ugly. I don't want to take pictures of it because it's gross, but that like, so that's not my favorite, but it's not going to keep me from using it because it's the front, it's the cover. Like we definitely put way too much stock in, I think, personally, I think, in the cover and the front of planners. How often are you looking at the front? Like what matters is on the inside, in my opinion. That sounds so cheesy, but it's true. So the paper is really the only warning I would give for Plum Paper, yeah. Do I like 8.5 by 11 size planners? Crystal, no. In fact, I don't like them so much that I got an 8.5 and 11 horizontal for my Plum Paper for journaling, and I hate it. It is just massive, and I don't like how big it is. So I ordered a 7 by 9 in the same layout because I just couldn't deal with the 8.5 by 11. And I had credits, so I did it. Do you keep your old planners? If so, how do you store them? So Kristen, right now I store them on my shelves, like just like lined up, because I have 5 of them from the past 5 years. And for those 5 years, I only used one planner. So it was easier to keep them all. At this point, now that I'm using like who knows how many planners, I don't know what I'm going to do with them or if I'm going to keep all of them. The weekly I would always keep because it's a nice memory to look back on. Everything else, meh. I feel like I could get rid of easily. Sarah, great question. If you are new to The Lazy Genius, should you start with the podcast or the book? I think you should start with the podcast just to see if you like her approach to life. I think you should go to the podcast, and somebody in the Patreon group asked a great question about this, is how do you start with the podcast? There's 170 something episodes. Where do you begin? Where you begin is you go to the topics that are most interesting to you. So she has done 170 something episodes on a bazillion different things. Go back and listen to the ones that are topics that are interesting to you and something that you think you need help with. Then if you feel like you vibe on her way of thinking, then I would go get the book, because then it helps you do it to a lot of different areas of your life. So that's how I would start. Great question. Megan, for the Plum Paper, I have really found that a gel pen works the best in terms of dry time. I don't necessarily love the ridging that it leaves on the other side. Like the Papermate Flare doesn't shadow or leave a ridging, and I love that, but it takes way longer to dry, and I'm so impatient. So I use the Sharpie S Gel 07. The 1.0, even though I love the way that it writes, is too thick for the Plum Paper for me. I also have a very, very heavy hand. Yes, Leah, Charlie will go with us for the holidays. I'm not leaving. Oh my gosh, she's so cute right now. I'm not leaving that little fur ball. Nope, she's coming with. She is coming with. Check the temperature illness box for your mail-in ballot. Okay. Jen Cabrera, great question. Do you have any content creating coaching programs that you recommend? Yes, and I talk about it in the weekly vlog going up on Friday. Her name is Mrs. Amanda Warfield on Instagram. She is technically a time management coach, but she has started teaching content creation because of her own experience creating content for her business. She has a podcast and a time management coaching business. I took her content batching 101 course, absolutely changed my life. And I talk about this in the weekly vlog. She is launching another session, live session, which I highly recommend if you're interested in at all in her system, is doing a live session. So it doesn't launch for a few weeks, and I talk about it in the vlog, and I'll have it all linked there. But if you want to follow her now and just get a sense for her vibe, it's Mrs. Amanda Warfield. She's also a cat mom, so we bond quickly, and a Disney fan, so we're on the same page. Don't get the Jordan Page planner. It's huge. Caitlin, thank you for recommending it. I've been stalking, waiting for that to come back in stock because I just want to try it. But if it's huge, it's not for me. I appreciate you telling me that. Jen, I know you posted it before. Can you post a list of favorite podcasts on Instagram or some other place? So I will link below. It's my Q1 favorites video where I list every podcast that I listen to. But I will put it in a blog post. I've been meaning to do that anyway because it's just easier for y'all. I know it is. It's easier to be like, go to this blog post to see all the podcasts I listen to than go watch this YouTube video. I know. Okay, I know. Putting it on my list. I promise. How are the tool pens in the Plum Paper? Sarah, it's pretty comparable to a Sharpie S gel for me. How am I doing Made For? Natasha, that's a great question. My Made For water bottle broke. So right now I'm not enjoying it at all because I'm not doing it. I enjoyed it for the 5 days that I did participate, and then my water bottle fell on the concrete and exploded. And so they allowed me to order a new one. They did not send it to me for free. Shocker. They allowed me to order one at cost. So I did order a new one. It is shipped and should be here soon, and then I will get back on the Made For wagon. It's kind of a bummer. Super, super, super bummer. No, Jen, don't apologize. That's a really great question, and I talk about podcasts all the time, so I should have a better, here are all the podcasts that I listen to in one place. Yeah, Made For is very pricey, Mindy, and that's why I am going through it, and I'm going to let you know if I think it's worth the price. I will let you know. I promise. I will not. I do only recommend things that I would recommend, but I also am very conscious of the fact that there are a lot of things that you need to spend money on in life, and a $75 a month habit program might not be that option for you. I get that. Okay, wow, it is 5:50, 6:50. My computer is still in Central Time for whatever reason, but that's okay. Well, we have reservations for dinner in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna ask you my last questions. Okay, wait. Before I jump into that, I'm going to comment on Jen's last comment. She could never get into podcasts. I also struggle with podcasts too. It took me a very long time to get into them. And what I found for me is that I have to be doing a specific thing in order for podcasts to work. I'm not a person that can listen to podcasts while I need to be doing something else with my brain. If I need to be editing or I need to be working, or I can't listen to podcasts while I'm doing that. So for me, podcasts are cleaning, cooking, commuting when that was a thing, or walking. If I'm doing one of those things, podcast is perfect for me. Otherwise, I can't do it. But until I paired podcasting with the right activity, I couldn't get it to work for me either. So hopefully that helps somebody, because that was my struggle with it as well. Yeah, and Ruby, same thing here for me. I used to listen to them a lot more when I was commuting, and I do feel behind on them because I'm not commuting. So that has put me behind. But yeah. All right. Let me know quickly down in the comments, what is one thing that you are doing this week to help you make progress on your goals? We are already almost a third of the way through September. I know you don't want to hear that. A third of the way. So what is one thing on your September goals that you can work on this week? Something small, something that you can commit to checking off. Casey, you jumped the gun. You already knew what question it was coming. I cannot believe you're moving. I can't believe you're leaving us. It's fine. It's fine. I see how it is. I see how it is. Ooh, inbox zero, Megan. Such a good one. Such a good one. Morning pages, Sarah. I need to get back into mine now that we're back here. I got a new notebook for them, and so I'm like excited to do them tomorrow. All these things are happening tomorrow. Working out, morning pages, all the things. So many things. Oh, Courtney, I'm so glad you got to see a friend. So good. Oh, Erica, wedding venues, good one. So tough. It's so tough to like organize all that information. I did it in a Google spreadsheet. Hopefully that helps with you. Hopefully that is something that works for you. I can't even talk, you guys. I'm just loving reading all of these comments. Oh, you guys, putting on your shoes for a run. Amanda, I hope it has cooled down enough at this point for you to go for a run. 50 miles in September. I love it. All right, y'all. You're the best that we can just chat for 50 minutes and time just absolutely flies. You guys had a lot of great questions. We talked a lot about planners today, which I know is very helpful for people trying to pick planners in the future. Before you head out, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all at this is our new time, 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays from now until I change my mind. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy planning.